Good morning. It's time to get moving. We're going to begin with our WundaBar, and today we will also be using our blocks. And there's a very good chance we'll pick up a weight at some point. So if you have dumbbells, grab those too. We're going to start with the WundaBar just above your ankle bones inside of your legs. It's going to be the narrow way. And so our knees and our feet are somewhere around 3 to 4 inches apart. Make sure your toes are shining straight forward, hands on hips. We're just going to start with a few plies to get things warmed up. We're exhaling as the sitting bones broaden. We're creasing at the knees and the ankles and the hips. And then we're going to inhale as we pick it up. It's really small, but adding the WundaBar between your ankles should help you feel really connected via the inner thighs, outer hips, and into your deep abdominals. We can layer on if you'd like to as we rise. The arms can come up and overhead. I have my fingertips open. And then we're going to exhale as we crease and bring the arms down. So the focus is not so much on how big of a movement you can make. It's really about finding the connectivity to your core. So even as the arms are sweeping out and up and overhead, we really want to focus on the shoulder blades initiating that movement and the ribs staying soft around your spine. The low back stays long. And the crown of your head is stretching to the sky even as our knees bend. Holding the arms long above your head, as close as you can get. We're going to exhale and go into that plie one more time. Hold. So now the arms are up and the hips are creased, knees are bent, ankles are creased. And let's just shift our weight forward and back a little bit and find that settled position where you feel grounded. You feel centered and connected. You've got equal weight on the soles of your feet. You've got the crown of your head stretching up as the tailbone stretches away like a two-headed snake. And then we're going to peel the right heel up ever so softly. It might be invisible. And then we're going to invite the left heel to peel up ever so softly. Also might be invisible. So we're just changing the balance challenge. And we're helping to really connect those legs deep into the hips, holding and breathing. Gaze is forward. If you lock your eyes on something ahead of you, it's going to assist you with that balance for 4, 3, 2, and then we're going to bring the heels down with intention. Open the front side of the hip crease, lengthen the legs all the way up, creasing under your seat, and arms strongly imprint down. All right, let's go ahead and take that WundaBar with us, and we're going to come onto our side. So your left hand is going to be down on the mat, and then you're going to bring your right foot forward and left foot behind it. So it's kind of backwards of how we normally set up a Wunda twist. So the top leg is forward, bottom leg is back, left hand is down. And then we're going to come up into a side plank. I have the WundaBar under my top hand, under the right hand. So it's giving me a little balance, support, and a little challenge. So holding that side plank is already a nice challenge. I do understand that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to swivel the hips. My spine and head are turning. Maybe your hips get down to the ground, maybe they don't, and then pick it back up. We're not here forever. I know it's a big ask on your left shoulder and left hand. We're going to swivel through, lengthening the pelvis down, looking towards your ankles, and lifting up. Make sure you don't lose the connection through the right shoulder and the right hand. The WundaBar should feel a little bit wobbly, and the spine should feel like it's opening up. Here we go, 3. Almost there, guys. Make it a smaller range of movement if it feels aggressive in your own skin. Lengthening and reaching, inhaling to lift. Exhaling, last one, crease down. Inhaling, pick it up, 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring your knees down. Beautiful. Okay, WundaBar is going to slide over your ankles now behind you. So just come onto your knees. Knees need to be open to match your big toe, second toe. And the WundaBar around your ankles is going to catch your outer hips. All right, we are going to go into a little squat sequence on our knees. Exhale. My seat is touching the top of the WundaBar. And then inhale, pick it up. We're going to go through this relatively quickly. The repetitions are going to be relatively quick as we focus on sitting bones broadening and sitting bones narrowing. So on the way down, sitting bones broaden, send energy out into the WundaBar. and sitting bones narrow to lift you. So this should really be pumping up the heart rate and deeply connecting your core to the movement of your legs and hips. So when we get down onto our knees, it helps us do that. We're going to go for 4 more here. Lifting and opening the hip crease every time. Still send the energy out. The skin of your kneecaps is dragging out. Hold the next one low. Hold, arms come back to your sides, reaching the fingertips long from the shoulders, crown of head long from the tailbone, skin of the kneecaps dragging out, upper inner thighs spiraling up for 4, 3, 2, and come all the way up. We're going to keep the WundaCore where it is, and we're going to go into kind of a half of a twisted teaser today. So we're going to make sure we scooch ourselves towards the front edge of your mat. I'm down with my left hip down and left elbow down. And we're going to hold. Right away, you can hover the legs just a tiny bit off the mat, just a little bit, okay? And the right arm can come up and long. And then we're going to swivel, but today we're going to keep the left elbow down. We're going to swivel coming into our teaser. This is going to be a strong exhale. And then inhale, send it back out into your side plank. Good. Exhale, thigh bones sink in, lifting into that little twisted teaser, but we're giving it some support today. And inhale, unwind. If you want to add support to your neck, you can take your hand behind your head. And you can do the same range of movement, but it's going to be less of an ask on your neck because your right shoulder is helping to hold your head. The weight of our head can get kind of heavy. So allow the weight of your head to sink into your shoulder and middle back. Inhale as we lengthen. And exhale, bring it back. We're going to go for 2 more like this, making sure we're not sinking down into the left elbow. We're lifting away from it. Lengthening. Last time we're going to come into the teaser. Hold and breathe. 5, 4, stretch the spine. 3, 2, and bring it all the way down. All right, we're going to keep the WundaCore, and if you have your blocks, we're going to grab a block, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the block and put the curved side down. We're going to put the curved side down, and that's going to be under your left knee. So let's set that up first. You want to center your knee as much as possible because it is pretty wobbly. Hands come onto the mat, and right leg is going to lengthen behind you. Now you've got options here. If you want to really, really increase that balance challenge, you can take your WundaCore under your right hand. I'm actually going to switch it to left hand. Sorry guys, because that's going to give us a more stable base with the left hip and right shoulder. So I've got both props on the left side. The WundaCore is under the left hand and the block is under the left knee. So just holding that is a great challenge. And we're going to swivel the right leg out while we externally rotate. And then we're going to bring it back in to start. Swiveling out. I'm not lowering it today. I'm keeping it as close as I can to hip height and bring it back in. So being on the WundaCore and the block is creating an intense core challenge because I've really created mobility and I've created a lot of instability under my base on the left side. Here we go for 3, lengthening the spine, looking straight down at your mat. Last 2, moving from the top of that right inner thigh. Last 1, bring it back to start, and bring your right knee down. All right, we're going to keep both of these tools, and we're going to flip onto your back. So we're going to take the WundaCore now the narrow way in between your calves. It's going to come the narrow way in between your calves. And we're going to do one of 2 things. If you have no block, you're going to interlace your hands under the base of your skull. If you have one, this curved part is going to go at the base of your neck to help support the weight of our head as we work. So hands or the block will do the trick. We're going to bring the legs into tabletop and swivel externally a tiny bit. So I'm kind of in this baby frog, yeah? All right, here we go. We're going to peel the head up. That's an inhale. And exhale, bring it back down. Nothing too fancy. Inhale, pick it up. Keep the front body long. Exhale, set it down. All right, so I'm actually really taking the work out of the front side of the neck and shifting the focus to the deep abdominals. I have no tension on the front side of my neck. Adding on, as you peel the spine up, the legs can extend. I'm in a soft turnout. This is an inhale. Exhale, bring it back to tabletop and allow the head to go down. Inhale, lengthen, reach. And exhale, bring it back. Using the WundaBar between the calves is going to help us connect the legs to the low belly. It's really going to help us find that connection so that we're not gripping on the low back or the front side of the hips. Inhaling as we reach. And exhaling as we lower back down. You can go for a slightly larger lift if you'd like to. So now I'm coming up a little bit higher off shoulder blades. That's entirely up to you, how far you lift. But make sure the weight of your head is being received into your abdominals and your middle back via your hands or via melting into your block. Hold this next one, legs long, abdominal curl, exhale down, inhale up. So the spine is not changing. It's the thigh bones moving through the pelvis. The pelvis is not changing. Last 3, stretch the inner thighs longer than the soles of your feet. Allow your head to melt into your middle back. Last 1, bring the knees to tabletop and with intention, set it all the way down. Take the block off to the side and we're going to go into a bridge using the WundaBar. So we're going to take our arches over the WundaBar. And straight away, we're going to take the left foot on top and keep the right foot down. So now we are in a split stance with our legs, and you want to find lots of energy over the arch of your right foot and energy down through the arch of the left foot. Here we go. We're going to peel up, curling, lifting, reaching, hold. And then we're going to exhale, melt from behind the heart, slowly lowering down, 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 down. So as you're working, we want to make sure we have a long spine, a long neck, shoulder blades are gliding down your back. So if you want to kind of walk them down next time you have your hips up, feel free to do so. Lowering down, down, down. My son started doing wrestling this year. And not only does it give me absolute and sincere heart attack every time I watch these kids wrestle, it is also really interesting to see how much core strength they're using, because when they're trying not to get pinned down and have their shoulder blades touching the mat, they're all doing bridges all day long. And I'm like, yeah, keep those bridges going, guys. All right, guys, so keep doing that. Maybe you'll be a good wrestler. Who knows? Hold the hips up, lengthen both knees. Find the center of balance on the WundaBar. Try not to tip it forward or back. 5, 4, 3, 2, slowly peeling all the way down. Great. And then we're going to put both feet onto the WundaBar. Just a few here. We're going to do our TA little taps. So that means we're going to pick your bum up off of the mat, barely, flat back, and then allow it to release. I'm going to move my arms. You can keep your arms down just so you can see what's happening. It's this tiny little lift, lots of effort through the arches, inner thighs, and deep belly. You want to feel this wrapping sensation from the pubic bone across your hips and around to your spine. Hands can be at your sides or they can be reaching up to the sky, but we don't want to let our pants leave the mat. Keep your pants in contact with the mat. It's smaller than you think in order to find that wrap. Maybe even close your eyes. Visualize your transverse abdominis wrapping from your pubic bone across your hips and around your waistline to your spine. Last one. And bring it back down. Beautiful. We're going to take the right foot, the right arch on top of your WundaBar curve. Arms are long at your sides, and we're going to peel the tailbone up, lengthening, reaching, lifting. And then we're going to melt down from behind the heart, slowly melting down, down, down. Tailbone unwinds, peeling up, lengthening, and reaching. That WundaBar should feel wobbly underneath you. We're not trying to squish it, but it definitely is going to wobble because it has a narrow edge that we're trying to balance on. And just keep hunting for center. Try not to let it tip towards you or away from you. And then check in with your knees. It's tempting to let them do squirrely things, tip in or out. See if you can keep them parallel and centered with your hip. We're going to go for 2 more here on this side, guys. If you're feeling the hamstrings catch or try to take over, more energy down into the mat, especially through the lower arm, and then shift the energy to the upper arm, and make sure the palms are glued to the mat. Really get the back body active and share that effort. Last one. Inhale, lengthening, reaching, opening, hold. 3, 2, melt from behind the heart, then the middle back, then the low back, and come all the way down. Gorgeous. All right, we're going to rise on up. We're going to use the block and the WundaBar under the right side. So you're going to take the WundaBar the wide way under your right hand and the curved side down of your block. All right. So if you don't have a block, just keep your knee right down on the mat. And then we're going to take the WundaBar under the right hand. And you might have to adjust where your knee is on the block as you get yourself kind of situated and used to this movement. But the goal is to have the block balanced on the apex of that curve, right? You can just hold and really gather yourself. Make sure we're not leaning into the outer right hip. Make sure we're stretching the left leg super long behind us, somewhere around hip height, but you don't have to force it high if your low back is reacting to that. Swivel the inner thigh out and bring the left leg back to start. So all we're doing is swiveling the top of our thigh bone. The left leg goes out to the side a little and then bring it back. Maybe it's just off of your mat. It's not a great big sweep. Oftentimes we ask for the leg to lower and do a big sweep forward. Today I'm asking for a lot of control and a lot of balance. We're perched up on this block. We're perched up on the WundaBar. And the focus is really about the left leg spiraling through the dome of the pelvis. If you have not yet hovered your right foot off of the mat, please try that. And if you feel more secure with it touching the mat, if it's helping you stabilize, then you can go ahead and keep it there. Last 2. Find that length from the tailbone through the crown of the head. Last 1, hold the leg back in parallel, lift the heart between shoulder blades. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it down. All right, beautiful. We're gonna set that block aside for a moment. We're gonna go into the twist with the WundaBar under our left hand. So it's gonna be that similar setup where we have the top leg forward, right hand is down, and right leg is back. So this is our setup, side plank with the top leg forward, okay? And then what we're gonna do is swivel the pelvis, the spine, the head, the eyes to look towards your ankles, hip dips down, and then inhale, pick it back up. All right, keep a close eye on that shoulder. On that last one, my shoulder got a little squirrely, so I'm not gonna go as low on this side. As we swivel down, we're exhaling, and as we lengthen up back to that side plank, we are inhaling. Let your head travel with your spine and your pelvis. Lots of energy down through the left hand, lifting off of the right wrist. Exhaling down, inhaling up. Here we go for 2. Finding that length in the spine. Try to keep lots of distance between the hips and the ribs. Last 1. Hold it in your side plank. Lift off the elbow and the wrist. 5. Head is long away from the tailbone. 3, 2, and bring it down. Beautiful. WundaCore is going to go around our ankles again. And this time we're going to come into a quick bridge set to give that shoulder a minute. And it's around the ankles, okay? Lay down onto your back. Arms are going to come long. We're actually going to mobilize the shoulders in one of my favorite ways, taking gravity out of the equation. Flat back bridge, pick it up. Arms go long behind you straight away. And then exhale, arms come all the way down as the hips lower. Inhale, pick it up. Feet are flat on the mat. Energy out on the WundaCore. Hips lift. Exhale, lengthen and reach. Not here forever. We're going to go for 3 more. Inhale, pick it up. Visualize mobilizing your shoulder blades. You should feel them moving below you on the mat quite a bit. Collarbones stay wide. Ask for space across the top of your shoulders as your arms reach behind you. Last one. Hold the arms long. Peel the hips up. If you want to peel both heels up a little, go for it. Lengthening and reaching. 5, 4, 3, 2. Heels come down. Arms come down. Spine lays down. All right, keep that all organized. We're going to roll onto our right side, and we're going to go into that twisted teaser, but halfway up, okay? So we're going to stay down on the right elbow. You can have hand on hip, you can have hand up, and just make sure you're not hanging down into that shoulder and elbow, and you've got the bottom ribs lifted. Here we go. Exhale, come into that twisted teaser, being supported by your right elbow. And then inhale, unwind back to start. Hand behind the head is a great choice to support the neck. Exhale as we bring it back. Inhale as we lengthen. So take this at your own pace, using the pelvis as your keystone to swivel. Lengthening and reaching. Exhale, bring it back. Thigh bones drop deeply into your pelvis. Open the hip crease as you come into that side plank. Try not to keep a little V there. Really open and reach. Last 2. Last 1. Hold it here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it down. Beautiful. All right, we're going to stand onto our feet, and we're going to use a weight and our WundaCore. So we're going to take our feet to the top of your mat, about 4 inches apart, parallel. We're going to lunge. I'm getting cooking in here. There's no heat out here, guys, so it was cold this morning, but we are fully heated through now. We're going to take the WundaCore the wide way, and it's going to go across the top of your right thigh. 1 dumbbell in your left hand if you have one. Left leg takes a nice step back. Right away, we're going to get into a lunge. So we're not going to come up fully standing. We're going to work through this middle range today, all right? So I've got energy down on the WundaCore, and I'm going to bring that left arm into a bicep curl position. The palm is facing in. And then we're going to plug the elbow into that shoulder. We're going to melt the right shoulder down. And then we're going to exhale as the left knee reaches for the floor. It's not going to get there, but you want to open the front side of that hip. And then we're going to inhale, bow forward, keep the arms steady. Exhale as we lower down. Inhale as we lengthen and reach. So you want to keep your pelvis, your ribs, and your shoulders working in line with each other. They're working in unison. So as we tip forward, they all come with it. You should be looking down towards like a baseboard in front of you maybe. And then we are going to exhale. And now you're looking at the wall, out the window, whatever you're looking at. But find the sight line changing because your spine is changing. It's an isometric hold on both sides of the shoulders. Inhale as you extend. Exhale as you bring it back. Here we go for 3. Exhaling, thinking about opening the front side of the left hip rather than focusing on the left knee. Open the front side of the left hip and invite the right hip deeper back. Last one, we're going to hold it with the left knee and the right knee bent. Left arm extends up to the sky, small side bend, and bring it back. So I'm fanning the left ribs ever so softly, keeping lots of length on the right side. This is 3. Get a little bit lower, opening from the front side of that left hip, 2. Whew, gets wobbly for me too, guys. Last one, hold the side bend, 5. Hold for 3, 2, and bring it all the way up. All right, we're gonna stand on that WundaBar again, and we're gonna find a lot of lift in our arches. This is really valuable training for our feet. So we're gonna start there. We have the dumbbell, the wide way, in between our hands, and we're gonna hold a small plie, and then we're gonna bring the dumbbell up and overhead. This is an inhale, and then we exhale, bring it down. Elbows do not change. Keep working on your end. So if you have a WundaBar, that's what you're gonna do. If you have your blocks, we're gonna take them and use them for our arch training here. They're gonna be about 1 inch apart, and then we're gonna stand on top of them, same thing, same range of movement, small plie, and the arms are coming up and overhead. This is an inhale, exhale, bring it down. So the idea, either way, whether we're using the WundaBar under our arches or the blocks, it's training our body to find the domes under our feet, the domes of our arches, suctioning and finding connection through the pelvis, through our diaphragm, all the way up into our head. So allow those domes to happen, allow the challenge to your balance to happen, and get everything connected. Really help to train space and openness in the soles of our feet. Inhale, pick it up, shoulder blades drift down. Exhale, slowly bring it down. For the last 2, we're gonna go in slow motion. So now we're imagining we're moving through super sticky molasses. And we're using our deep abdominals to stabilize the spine as the shoulder blades glide around the rib basket. And then we're slowly setting it back down. There's a lot of tension in the molasses as we lower it down. And now we're gonna have to resist that tension as we pick up. And we're gliding through that sticky molasses. It's allowing the shoulder blades to have time to swivel around the ribs. The arms come up and overhead, maybe get a hair deeper in your plie. And then we're gonna exhale, slowly going through that molasses, sticky arms. The elbows are having a hard time getting through too, everything. And bring it down. Gorgeous. All right, we're gonna keep that dumbbell. We're gonna use our WundaBar again, but this time it's across our left hip. So we're gonna switch sides. So we're gonna take the left hand with the WundaBar across your left thigh. And straight away, guys, we are in our lunge position. Right arm comes into your bicep curl. Plug the elbow into the shoulder. Energy down into the WundaBar. And we're gonna tip the spine upright in order to allow the right knee to melt and front side of the right hip to open. And then we're gonna open the hip crease, open the back side of the right leg as we crease the front side of the left. Exhale as you lower down, plugging in, and inhale as you bring it up. If this is ever aggressive in your neck or shoulder, you can bring your elbow down, but just find a good challenge in your skin to find some resistance on that weight or a resistance in the hold. So if you don't have a dumbbell handy, or if that's feeling aggressive in your body today, then set it down. Finding energy down through the left shoulder blade, equal weight on the sole of that left foot. Exhale down, head is in line with spine. We're gonna finish today after this, guys, with a plank. You're almost there. Exhaling as we sink. Inhale as we tip the spine, the pelvis, the head forward. Hold the next one, right hip open, right knee down. Hold and breathe. My shoulder's getting really tired too, you guys. Hold and breathe. Pause. Right arm goes long, dumbbell or no dumbbell. Hold and breathe. And then we're gonna go into that side bend. So we're fanning and bringing it back. Small side bend. Fanning and bringing it back. Last 4. We're gonna hold the last one. Glue your eyes to something ahead. reaching the right knee down. We're opening the front side of the right hip. The quadriceps on the right side are getting a big stretch. The left thigh bone is sinking deep into the pelvis. Hold this side bend. Hold and breathe for 3, for 2, and set it back up and bring yourself upright. All right, you guys, if you have your loop handy, I know several of you have a loop, you can take it around your forearms. It's going to be really nice for your plank. If you have your blocks, you can put your hands on these. So those are the 2 suggestions I'm going to make. It's going to help you connect to shoulders and core rather than loading into wrists. So if you have the band, it goes around your wrists, and open your hands shoulder width on the mat, spiraling the upper arms forward. If you have your blocks, catch the front side of your blocks. You can see my fingertips are actually hanging off. I'm not in the middle. Then we're going to really distribute the weight across our palms. We're going to spiral the upper arms forward and broaden our collarbones. Either way, hands are like starfish. Lengthen right leg back. Pause. Make sure pelvis is level. Spine is stretching away from tailbone. And then we're going to lengthen and reach. Hold and breathe. So with the props, if you have them, you're going to feel a lot of intention through the middle back, through the core, through the shoulders, and a lot less load into our wrists. In my own body, I feel planks really heavily in the heels of my hands. And when I get these blocks or I get that loop, gosh, it's so much better. So lift your heart between shoulder blades, spiral the upper arms forward. Your head is in line with your spine. Your neck is long. Last 5, 4, 3. Bonus round, pelvis up and back. Go into a pike, not a down dog. It should feel like a lot of work. Holding and breathing. 5. This is it, guys. 4. Lengthening. 3. Belly button up and in. 2. And knees come down. We did it. All right. We're going to come into a little Z-sit here. You're going to grab your WundaBar one more time. We're going to stretch it out. So we're going to come into a Z-sit. I'm on my right hip. The left leg is folded behind me. And you can choose to either have the WundaBar the long way or low. I'm going to choose to use mine the low way. It gives me a deeper stretch. And then we're just going to hold on to that WundaBar. It gives us a little place to hold as we side bend. My right elbow is bent a lot. Left side is open for 3, for 2, and bring it all the way up. Let's go ahead and do that again. I'm going to keep my right arm long this time. I moved the WundaBar further away. Open and reach. So you can choose elbow bent or not. And then come back up through the middle. And then I'm going to swivel so that the legs are long, using the WundaBar around the balls of your feet. This is going to help you just to open up some space in the spine. And I'm using it to actually drag the balls of my feet back towards me. I'm just increasing that stretch. And I'm doing a little fascial flossing. So I'm doing a little tiny bend and extend. You can do that with 2 legs at the same time, or you can do that with 1 leg at a time. Just this tiny bend and extend. And what we're doing is lubricating that fascia to allow us to have greater flexibility and function through our bodies head to toe. For 3, 2, and then I'm going to invite you to fold forward and challenge yourself a little bit more. Maybe elbows bend, your spine folds forward a little bit more. Drag the soles of your feet towards you for 3, 2, and go ahead and release. Other side. We're going to have our left hip down, right leg is behind us in that Z-sit. You can have the WundaBar tall or the wide way. We're going to go into a side bend. Nice breath here. Opening those right ribs. And then come on up. You can take the arm long. I'm going to do this next one with my left arm long. So just move the WundaBar away. And bring it back through center. Last thing we are going to do is go into a roll down with the WundaBar. It's going to help keep our arms organized. Feet are 4 inches apart, parallel. And sending some energy out on the WundaCore is just going to catch some space in the shoulders and keep our body connected. So looking straight forward, let's take one upper back extension. So we're opening the upper back, but the pelvis doesn't spill forward. Open your gaze and your neck. And then we're going to exhale as we stack everything up. Turn our gaze down, our head down, and our spine follows as we slowly lower down, 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 down. The WundaCore can come to the ground. You can bend your knees or not. And then slowly unfurl, empty hands. Arms come up and overhead. And imprint arms to the sides. Beautiful work, you guys. I hope I delivered you out into the world feeling better than you had before inside of your own skin. Have a gorgeous day.